In general, you hear a violin, you say, yeah, that's a violin. But they all have their own character. Like people, we all sound a little different. As you work with them over time, you start to hear the subtle differences, and you can hear if something's not quite right, or if that's just the character of the instrument. My workshop's in West Seattle. I do violin repair and restoration. I've been in the business about 16 years. To make a violin, you can count on about 6 weeks of work if you're working steadily. Then you have to varnish the instrument, and that can take maybe start to finish about 3 months. I have seen some 3D printed ones that use some carbon impregnated plastic. It's an interesting science project, but I still like the wood that are completely done by hand the best. I love the workmanship and the history, the craftsmanship that goes into making them. Everything's handmade, so it can all be taken apart and put back together again. Sometimes they'll sound nasal, congested, sound tight, or sometimes they'll sound slightly hollow and woofy on the other side. And so if something like that's going on, then there's a problem. The time you spend learning how to work on the instrument is kind of equivalent to the time you spend learning how to play the instrument. Not a lot of makers are great violinists. More often than not, we're good at making or repairing, not so much at playing. So it sounds, all the sound we want to be coming out of the sound holes, though. If it's open, then it won't sound quite right, and it doesn't feel right either. So I can feel how it's vibrating, listen to the ringing of the instrument, and I hear that it's got a lot of power, and the response is excellent. Hey, Takumi, what's up? Hi, how you doing?
Would you like to see it first?
Yeah. Okay. Takumi stops by occasionally and just has me go over the adjustment. I've been looking after his violin for a few years. Let's hear it.
Okay. I think what I feel is just a tiny bit muffled on the G, I think, or on the low register a little bit.
Okay. It's important to work with the player and find out how they're feeling, how the instrument's responding in their hand. That's where you really dial in the sound of the instrument.
I think I like it, actually.
Yeah? Okay, I hear the difference, definitely. It's more core sound instead of...
I think it feels that way to me.
Okay.
Does it sound right?
Yeah, it sounds good to me. It's like, does everything feel better? Like,
it does.
Okay. At first, they all sound like a violin. It takes time to train your ear to hear it. They have a lot of personality. It's a pleasure to get to work on them.